Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here by popular demand, which means at least one of you people mentioned it, here with the last of the big Ozawa boxes. This is the Sony box. Yes, I finally caved in and got it from Japan. It's a special edition that you can only get in Japan. It hasn't been released domestically, although now that Ozawa passed away and this thing exists, it would not surprise me if Sony actually does make it more generally available, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. We may also get, remember, let's just be clear, the Ozawa legacy consists of a whole slew of miscellaneous boxes on DG and Philips. Then there's the big DG Ozawa box, and then there's the Warner box, and so that's it. And they could possibly put together something more comprehensive, particularly the Philips Decca people, because they have the majority of his work with the Saito Kinen Orchestra, which is really very, very interesting. A lot of it is anyway, and it would really be good to have just Ozawa and Saito Kinen, his Decca recordings. I would like that actually, but it would give us an opportunity to really evaluate the last phase of his career. But some of that's in here actually, and this thing has 51 CDs, including 3 bonus discs. I'm not sure how bonusy they are, but they're bonuses. Now, this purports to contain the complete RCA and Columbia album collections, which means that his early work in Chicago on RCA has been repackaged and stuffed in here again. So if you got that little box, the small Ozawa RCA box with all the Chicago stuff, which is mostly marvelous, then we are going to be, you're going to be duplicating. Oh, I have to figure out how to get into it. It goes this way. It's a jack-in-the-box thing. So let's pull these suckers out, and let's see what we get. Well, you get a very extensive booklet. Let's get the extensive booklet. This is getting very complicated, trying to get these things. All right, here's the extensive booklet. Not a bad booklet. Nice chunky little booklet. It's entirely in Japanese. So, it'll be an additional expense if they decide to release it, in the West. You do have a complete track listing. I can go by the booklet, even though it's largely in Japanese. Well, let's go album by album, shall we? Where's the first stuff? Okay. Oh, it's weird. All right, here we go. So here's all the RCA stuff. It's a big pack of this. I'm going to pull out the first batch. Let's see if I can find all the RCA stuff in one clump. Yes, I can actually. Here it is. That's all the RCA stuff. And we can go through it. We've gone through it already in the RCA. We did that video separately, but we'll see. This chair is creaking again. I'll have to lube it up. Oh, that's better. Okay. First, the Baroque oboe. Ow, look at this. He started his life on, wow, this is old. Look at this. The Baroque oboe with Harold Gomberg. Works by Vivaldi, Telemann, and Handel, with Seiji Ozawa conducting the Columbia Chamber Orchestra with the Gomberg Baroque Ensemble. Boy, he must have been like 6 when he did that. The very beginning of his career. Oh, and they have little plastic sleeves, by the way. The CDs, which is nice. It means that they won't be defaced by other substances, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let me get them in here. The trouble is the plastic is quite slippery, and the discs tend to fall out. Can't win, can you? All right. Peter Serkin, Bartók, Concertos 1 and 3 with the Chicago Symphony. Classic performances. Eric Friedman, the Tchaikovsky and Mendelssohn Violin Concertos. Oh, yeah, with the London Symphony. What a lovely disc that was. It's nice to actually remember these things again after we haven't talked about them in a long time. Leonard Pinario, Schumann Piano Concerto, Strauss Burlesque with the LSO. Also very, very good. Joan of Arc at the Stake. Oh, this is on Columbia. This is an early Columbia. It's not all just RCA in a clump. Jeanne d'Arc au Boucher with Vera Zorina as Joan and Alec Guinness. And wow, look at that. That's really nifty. These are all with the LSO. These earlier things, there's some of them with Chicago, but those were with the LSO. John Browning, a Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto No. 1. It's good to have anything Browning did, although there was a separate Browning box, you may recall. So, that's in there. And we've got over here, what is this? This is assuming everything that's on the disc is correct. The Symphony Fantastique from Toronto. Ozawa was generally a good Berliozian in the less grandiose work. I think his grandiose works. I think his DG Symphony Fantastique is considerably better. Canadian music in the 20th century with the Toronto Symphony. Ernest Macmillan, Harry Friedman, Pierre Mercure, and Francois Morel. Well, that's interesting. This hasn't been around for like a bazillion years. And I don't think it was around when it was around. That's how rare it was. Then Pictures in an Exhibition, Britain Young Person's Guide. His star has become fixed in the firmament of master conductors. So says the booklet, the back of the thing note. Schoenberg Piano Concerto, along with the piano pieces, and the Violin Fantasy with Arnold Steinhardt, with Peter Serkin. Well, that's a classic, a very serious classic. The Beethoven Violin Concerto, arranged for piano with incredibly slow tempos, with Peter Serkin. That was an acquired taste, but at the time you really couldn't get any other version of that work, so that was kind of like the only show in town. Messiaen's Tarantula Symphony, the Tarangalila with Toronto, and Takemitsu November Steps, a classic, iconic album, wonderful for both works. Stravinsky, The Rite of Spring and Fireworks with Chicago, smokin', amazingly exciting, fabulous, tremendous, wonderfully well recorded. Tchaik 5, which was sort of an Ozawa standby work, and Mussorgsky Night on Bear Mountain. Well, that's delightful. With Chicago, right? Yes, it's Chicago. More Chicago. Beethoven's Fifth, Schubert's Unfinished. Okay, they're good. We don't need those. And a Takemitsu disc with Toronto, the Toronto Symphony, Asterism, Requiem, Green, and the Dorian Horizon for 17 strings. Lovely disc. Okay, especially if you're a Takemitsuian. So that's like most of the earlier stuff. Now, the rest of this stuff is going to be on Sony, I think. Let me get the next, almost. Well, no, not all of it, because some of it went back on RCA, depending when he was accompanying soloists, who the soloist label was and whatnot, when they had to make arrangements with the main label. Andre Watts, Ozawa, Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto No. 3. Oh, that's nice. Okay. It's a good Rachmaninoff third. I mean, it's not anyone's favorite, but it's decent. Let's see. Mozart, Symphonies, the Hofner, and 2024 with the New Philharmonia. That's RCA, too. Did anybody remember that? I sure didn't. Wow. I listened to it just the other day, too. It's good. It's good. Orff, Carmina Burana. Oh, yeah, that was RCA, of course, with Boston. The early Boston stuff on RCA. This is very exciting. It's very good and youthful. It's youthful and fresh and rhythmic. And my partner at ClassicsToday.com, David Vernier, sang in that. He's in the chorus. If you listen carefully, you can hear him. The Stravinsky, Firebird, and Petrushka. Oh, this was marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. And Michael Tilson Thomas is playing the piano, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the one where he does, or one of the ones where he does. Space Theater, program of Steel Pavilion at Expo 70. Okay. Crossing by Takemitsu, Yegen, Yuji Takahashi, Hibi Hanama, Yanis Xenakis. Wow. Look at that with the Japan Philharmonic and Hiroshi Wakasugi. That's a rarefied release. You see, there's some special things in here. Philippe Altremont, the Cacciatorian Piano Concerto with the Liszt Hungarian Fantasia. This was quite good. And, oh my goodness, it's been out of print for 100 bazillion years. Although it's in the Philippe Altremont box, so if I'm not mistaken. But I have that. I can go check, but I'm too lazy. Oh, I love this disc. The early digital Columbias. Frederica von Stade, Ravel, Scheherazade, and other Ravel song things. It was Scheherazade and the Cinq Mélodies Populaires Grecques and Deux Mélodies Hébraïques and the Chanson Madagascar. Oh, yeah, what a fabulous disc this was. And it wasn't just with, let's see who else was. Martin Katz was playing the piano, and yeah, great. A wonderful disc. Absolutely. It's actually after Crespin. That was like one of the first other recordings I got of Scheherazade, that and Elie Ameling. So it was like quite a trio, of Scheherazade's there. Stern and Ozawa, Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, Beethoven, Two Romances. Okay, Stern did all that stuff better when he was doing his earlier things. He was a bit aged when he got to that. Berlioz, La Nuit d'été, and Debussy, La Demoiselle Élue, with Frederic von Stade. Again, lovely disc. Lovely, wonderful disc. Oh, this was fun. Strauss, Don Quixote, and the Schoenberg Concerto for Cello with Yo-Yo Ma. I remember the reviews when this came out. People weren't so fond of the Strauss. They found it a little weak in the rhythm department, and I can understand that. It's a gentle performance of Don Quixote, but it's beautifully done. About the Schoenberg, oh, was that fun? Nobody knew that thing existed when this came out, and it's really it's a reworking of a Baroque concerto by Matthias Georg Mann, and it is the weirdest thing you've ever heard in your life. Oh, it's so weird and fun. The Ravel Left-Hand Concerto, Prokofiev No. 4, and Britten Diversions with Leon Fleischer when he was doing left-hand stuff, and the Boston Symphony. I loved this record when it came out, particularly for the Britten. I mean, the Ravel, we always had, wonderful performances of Ravel, and the Prokofiev too. But the Britten Diversions for left-hand and orchestra is virtually unknown, and it's delightful. It's absolutely delightful. I don't know why nobody ever plays it. Schnittke, Cello Concerto No. 2 with Rostropovich and the London Symphony, and In Memoriam for orchestra. World premiere recordings. Major stuff. Very cool stuff. Tchaikovsky, Queen of Spades, with Mirella Freni and Vladimir Atlantov, Dmitry Hvorostovsky, Maureen Forrester as the Countess, Sergei Liferkus, and Catherine Chisinski with the Boston Symphony. Boy, this must have been so expensive. They learned nothing after doing that Cockamamie Lohengrin with Leinsdorf, did they? And it's a very beautiful peak dom. It really is. So that's fun. And we've got Peter and the Wolf. This is the one, Peter and the Wolf, The Carnival of the Animals, and The Young Person's Guide, all in Japanese, narrated in Japanese. And so that's for a limited market. But there's a bonus. It comes back in English at the end of the pile here. Kissin, Rachmaninoff III, with Ozawa and the Boston Symphony, and other solo works by Kissin. That's RCA. That was, of course, like a famous recording of the Rachmaninoff III, and it's quite good. Dvorak in Prague with Rudolf Firkuzhny and people. This is all kinds of little bits of Dvorak. Songs, and let's see, it's with Rudolf Firkuzhny, Yo-Yo Ma, Itzhak Perlman, Frederica von Stade, the Prague Philharmonic Chorus, the Boston Symphony. It's one of those little like celebratory sniglet things. The Berlioz Requiem on RCA with the Boston Symphony. I find this to be just woefully underplayed. I really do. I never did it for me. It wasn't one of his better efforts in Berlioz. His great Berlioz recordings, his best of all is Romeo and Juliet. And The Damnation of Faust is very good also. I mean, that was his really good stuff. The Fauré Requiem. Well, this is lovely, and Fauré songs with Barbara Bonney and Håkan Hagegard. Ozawa was made for this music, really. Its reticence, its subtlety, its harmonic, elegiacosity, whatever you want to call it. It's just beautiful stuff. Mozart, Flute Concerto No. 1, Bassoon Concerto, Strauss Oboe Concerto. This is with the Maito Chamber Orchestra and a bunch of Japanese soloists, or some of them anyway. Dag Jensen is the bassoonist. Shigenori Kudo is flute, and Fumiaki Miyamoto is the oboist. Okay, if you want that. I mean, that's like for local consumption. Mahler 2 with Saito Keenan, first class. One of the great Mahler 2s, wonderfully recorded. I mean, he really grew into his Mahler later in life. It's a pity he didn't remake a whole cycle with these folks. It would have been amazing. Really, most of it was very good. Cat is yelling. What do you want, dear? Wait 1 second, please. Here, come here. Come here. Come here. Give me your toy. Let me have it. Sorry about that, folks. She wants to play fetch. She's going to nag me till she does. You ready? Go! There. Okay. Mahler 9 was Saito Keenan. He always did a great Mahler 9. His Boston one was wonderful, absolutely wonderful, perfectly balanced, beautiful, shapely, expressive, and so is this. This one's even more powerful, if anything. It's wonderful. Arkady Volodos, Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto No. 1, Rachmaninoff Solo Piano Works with Berlin and Ozawa. This was terrific. It's a terrific Tchaikovsky first. Mozart 40 and the Symphony Concertante in E-flat, again with the Maito Chamber Orchestra. Lovely, shapely performances, nothing not to enjoy there. Mozart Symphony 36-38, and the Motet Exaltate Jubilate. Who's the soloist in that? It's all in Japanese, and I have no idea. It's in tiny, tiny print, of course, because they're not going to make it easy on us, are they? Oh, there we go. Maki Mori is the soprano, very good soprano. She sings quite beautifully. So that's another nice disc that you probably didn't hear. Mozart, the Complete Horn Concertos with Radek Baborak. And I just don't care about the Mozart horn concertos. They're so uninteresting. They all sound like each other. And you've got to be like a horn fan for that stuff. Mozart Jupiter, Turkish Violin Concerto with, wait, here we go, the microscopic Japanese violinist. The Japanese were always into miniaturization, weren't they? And say, they've miniaturized. Look at this. How are you supposed to make that out? Take a look. What? Hang on. Just relax. Let's see. That's Mildred with her morning, Let's see. It's Masuko Ushioda, violin. A very good violinist. Why not print the person's name in some sort of visible sized type? Mendelssohn, Piano Concerto No. 1 in solo works with Yu Kosugi. Well, at least here you see a name in like readable type. Mozart 35 and 39 with Maito. All these Mozart performances are very, very nice. They're nice. They're not going to make you like go crazy, but it's not that kind of music anyway. But, they're good. They're very good. Strauss, also sprach Zarathustra, and Brahms first with the Boston Symphony. This is a bonus album, so that's fun. That's nice to have. I'm trying to see if they say something about, let's see. This was one of those, hang on, recorded live. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's the Osaka Festival performances. I remember those, so there you go. That's what those are. And then last but not least, did I get all three bonus things? Strauss, Brahms. Yeah, you also get Dvorak New World, Ives Central Park in the Dark, Takamitsu, November Steps. Yeah, you get some other things there. And on this thing, this has, doesn't tell you everything that's on it. Let me see, where's the Dvorak? Hang on. I don't know. I have to look at the booklet now. And Peter and the Wolf with all, the Carnival of the Animals, the Britain Young Person's Guide, now in English. Isn't that exciting? Let me check something out here, because I have to put these away and see if the way that they did this is different on the booklet or... All right, here we go. Let's look at the bonus thing in the back here. I want to make sure that everything was in the box that said was going to be in the box. Also sprach Zarathustra. Yeah. CD2, Brahms 1. And, just the Largo. These are encores. That's what was making me crazy. Largo from Dvorak 9. Okay, fine. Central Park in the Dark. Separately, with the New York Philharmonic. That's recorded under the supervision of Leonard Bernstein. Okay, that was that older recording of that, and Takamitsu's November Steps excerpt. So that's like the grab bag leftovers disc. I thought that something had been left out, and that makes me absolutely crazy when that happens, as it sometimes does, actually. So let's put all of this stuff back in its box. If I can do this correctly, yeah, I think I can. Let's see if we do it this way. We'll see if we can feed it into this. Oh, God. These things are such a pain in the toes. All right, there we go. So there you have it, 51 CDs, the rest of Ozawa. And I mean, most of it's quite good. And I don't know if any of you are going to bother ordering it from Japan, or for whatever that's going to cost you. I don't even remember what it cost me, but it's covered. We have now done everything we could possibly do regarding the career of Seiji Ozawa, a underestimated, in my view, conductor, someone with tremendous gifts, and he remained really solid throughout his career. Very, very consistent. Like I said, it would be good to have like all of his Saito Keenan stuff collected, or maybe just another Decca box or something. Of course, Decca screws up everything, don't they? Well, here it is. You asked, I did it. I'm happy I did it. I'm happy to have it. And you would be too if you want to avail yourself of the opportunity to get it. I got mine from, hmv.co.jp, the HMV store in Japan. I mean, they definitely have it, and their search engine sort of sometimes works. You may have your own sources that work even better. I don't know. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.